Welcome back, everybody. Today we're going to be diving deep into some fascinating stuff from Sadhguru.
Okay.
Yeah, Sadhguru's teachings, specifically focusing on gratitude and this really interesting concept called Akashic intelligence.
All right.
So it's got a bunch of excerpts from his talks and also like a text that kind of summarizes some of his key ideas and teachings. And I got to say, some of this is like really like mind-blowing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you know how Sadhguru like talks about like how the Japanese pick up objects
Yeah.
like with a sense of reverence?
Mm-hmm.
Like he connects that to this whole deeper idea about gratitude.
It is fascinating how he connects these seemingly simple actions to these really profound ideas.
Yeah.
And, you know, when it comes to gratitude, his perspective is really unique. He doesn't see it as like this forced emotion or as something you have to like try to feel.
Okay.
It's something that naturally flows from within.
So instead of just, telling us to like, just be grateful.
He actually dives into like why genuine gratitude like arises in the first place.
Yeah.
And I was like really struck by his example of that simple piece of bread. Okay. Imagine you're starving.
Yeah.
And someone just like offers you like this piece of bread.
Yeah.
Like that bread becomes like priceless.
It does. It becomes so much more than just food.
Yeah.
It's like a lifeline.
Right.
And that feeling, that overwhelming sense of like receiving something so precious.
Right.
That's what he's pointing to as true gratitude. It really makes you think, how often do we take things for granted just because they're always available?
Yeah, it's true.
We have food, we have clothes, we have shelter.
Yeah.
All these things we rely on every single day.
Mm-hmm.
But how often do we actually like pause and really appreciate them?
Yeah. No, it's easy to just like kind of go through the motions.
Yeah.
And not really like, recognize like all these amazing things that we have.
Right. And it also raises this interesting point about receiving.
Because, we talk a lot about giving, the importance of giving.
Yeah.
But we rarely talk about the importance of receiving.
Oh, that's a good point.
What does it mean to receive graciously?
Yeah.
What does that even look like?
Yeah, that's a perspective I hadn't really considered before.
Yeah.
It is easy to focus on that giving part
Mm-hmm.
and not really think about the receiving end of it.
Right. And so Sadhguru really emphasizes, the interconnectedness of our existence. He uses the example of clothing. Like, think about all the people involved in getting that shirt that you're wearing on your back.
Yeah.
From the farmers who grew the cotton
Yeah.
to the factory workers who stitched it together.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's a vast network of effort and collaboration.
Yeah, I never really thought about it like that.
Right.
Wow.
And so suddenly that simple act of getting dressed becomes kind of a humbling experience when you think about all the effort, all the resources that went into making it possible.
That's crazy.
Right. And it's about recognizing that, we're not just these isolated individuals.
Mm-hmm.
We're part of this much larger system, constantly receiving and giving.
Mm-hmm.
And that realization is key to cultivating that genuine gratitude.
Okay, so this leads to this whole other like fascinating concept
Yeah.
that Sadhguru brings up, and it's called Akashic intelligence.
Mm-hmm.
Can you like break that down a little bit?
Yeah.
Because it sounds a little complex.
It might sound complex, but the core ideas is actually quite simple.
Yeah.
So Sadhguru describes Akashic intelligence as like the intelligence of space itself. And the space, the Akash, it's not empty.
Right.
It possesses an intelligence that's actually responsible for holding everything in place, from the smallest atoms to the largest galaxies.
Wow.
And he actually uses this really funny example to illustrate it.
Okay.
He says, we're not just sitting here because of our bums,
Right.
but because the Akash is holding us up. It sounds silly.
Yeah.
But it makes you think.
It does, yeah.
It highlights how this intelligence is constantly at work, even though we're not aware of it.
Right.
And what's even more fascinating is that this Akashic intelligence holds everything in place with no strings attached.
Wow.
It's not demanding anything in return. It's just functioning flawlessly, orchestrating this entire cosmos.
That's incredible. So this intelligence, this Akash,
Yeah.
it's super powerful.
Yeah.
But like, how does it actually affect us like on a personal level?
Yeah.
Like, why should we care about it?
Well, Sadhguru suggests that how this intelligence works for or against you really shapes the quality of your life.
Mm-hmm.
So if you can tap into it, align yourself with it, life might flow with more ease and joy.
Okay.
But if you're unaware of it or even working against its flow, you might encounter more resistance and struggle.
That makes sense.
So it's all about becoming aware of it.
So then the question becomes, like, how do we tap into this Akashic intelligence? Is there something specific that we can do?
So Sadhguru offers this really simple practice.
Okay.
He suggests bowing down to the sky 3 times a day.
Okay.
Before sunrise, sometime during the day, and after sunset.
So we're just like bowing to the sky.
Yeah.
Is this like a type of worship or like a ritual?
It's not about worshiping a deity or anything like that.
Okay.
It's about acknowledging the Akash, the space, for holding you in place today. It's an act of gratitude and recognition for this unseen force that's constantly supporting us.
That's actually really beautiful.
Yeah.
And I remember Sadhguru mentioned, even like Sachin Tendulkar, the famous cricketer.
Oh, yeah.
He like instinctively looks up after like, achieving success.
Yeah.
It's like he's acknowledging something greater than himself.
And that speaks to this inherent understanding of this intelligence, even if it's not conscious,
Right.
And Sadhguru believes that by consciously engaging in this practice of bowing to the sky, we actually deepen our connection to that Akashic intelligence, and we invite its grace into our lives.
Wow. Okay. This all sounds amazing.
Yeah.
But I got to admit, there's one concept I'm still kind of struggling with.
What's that?
And that's Maya.
Ah, Maya.
What is Maya?
So Maya, as Sadhguru describes it, is basically the illusion that keeps us fixated on like the mundane, the insignificant details of life.
Yeah.
It's that tendency to get so caught up in our worries, our distractions, our desires that we completely miss the vastness and the wonder of existence.
Oh, wow.
And he uses this really striking analogy to explain it.
What's that?
He says it's like we're preoccupied with like a worm of a thought.
Oh, wow.
While this entire cosmos is unfolding its magic around us.
That's a powerful image.
It is, it's kind of funny, but it's also incredibly insightful.
Yeah, it makes you think like, how often are we just like, stuck in our own heads.
Right.
And missing out on like the bigger picture.
Exactly. Sadhguru is urging us to break free from this grip of Maya.
And recognize, that bigger picture.
Okay, so we've got gratitude, like this natural overflowing feeling that comes from recognizing our interconnectedness.
Yeah.
And then we have this like powerful unseen force called Akashic intelligence that's holding everything together.
It is.
And then we have Maya, this illusion that kind of blinds us to the vastness of it all.
Right.
It's a lot to take in.
It is.
But as we like continue to explore these concepts, I think you'll start to see how they all like intertwine and how understanding them can really offer a completely new perspective on life.
Exactly.
All right. So I think let's take a moment to just like kind of reflect on these ideas before we dive even deeper.
Sounds good.
Into Sadhguru's teachings.
Okay. So before we paused, to reflect, we were talking about Maya and how it can, kind of prevent us from really experiencing like the fullness of life.
Right. Yeah. It's like we get so caught up in the day to day
that we kind of forget about that bigger picture.
Exactly. And so when it comes to gratitude, especially like in the context of this Akashic intelligence, how does that help us like break free from that limited perspective?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Sadhguru's teachings, they point to this like really fascinating connection between gratitude and this Akashic intelligence.
Okay.
When we acknowledge the Akash, that space that's holding everything together, we're actually shifting our focus, from the limited to the limitless. It's like we're expanding our awareness to encompass something much greater than ourselves.
So it's not just about, feeling grateful for like tangible things, like food or shelter, but also for like this vast intelligent space.
Exactly.
That makes it all possible.
Precisely. By acknowledging the Akash, we're not just expressing gratitude for what we receive, but we're actually recognizing the source of it all.
Huh. That's a profound shift in perspective.
It is.
It's not just about the gifts themselves.
Right.
But like recognizing the giver.
The giver, yeah. And so where does this practice of bowing to the sky fit into all of this?
Yeah, that's what I was wondering too.
Well, when we bow to the sky, Sadhguru suggests that it's not just like a physical act.
Okay.
we're actually aligning ourselves with this incredible intelligence, allowing it to kind of work through us.
Right.
It's like a way of saying thank you and opening ourselves up to its grace.
It's like we're tuning into a frequency we weren't even aware of before.
Yeah, it's a great analogy.
And by like aligning ourselves with that frequency, we can like experience life in a whole new way.
Exactly. And just like tuning into a radio station, you know, it requires a conscious effort.
Right.
To shift our attention.
Yeah.
And so that simple act of bowing, that conscious acknowledgement becomes like a powerful tool for transformation.
I'm really noticing like a theme.
Oh, yeah.
Throughout all these teachings.
What's that?
It's like Sadhguru takes these like seemingly simple actions.
Yeah.
And reveals like their deeper significance.
Exactly. You know, he keeps emphasizing that this Akashic intelligence, it's already there.
Right.
It's already functioning, whether we're aware of it or not.
Yeah.
It's not about like becoming some kind of spiritual superhero.
Right.
It's about recognizing what's already there and allowing it to enhance our lives.
So it makes me wonder, has Sadhguru shared like any personal experiences or like anecdotes that illustrate how this intelligence has like impacted his own life?
You know, while he may not necessarily like delve into personal anecdotes all the time, his teachings are infused with this like depth of understanding that really suggests like a lived experience. You know, he speaks with such clarity and conviction that it becomes clear that this isn't just theoretical knowledge for him. It's something he really embodies.
That's powerful.
It is. And that's the beauty of Sadhguru's teachings.
What's that?
You know, they're not meant to be just passively absorbed.
Right.
They're meant to be actively explored.
Right.
You know, he encourages us to experiment, to question.
Yeah.
To discover these truths for ourselves.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Right. So far we've talked about gratitude.
Yeah.
Like this natural outpouring. We explored, you know, the interconnectedness of life.
Yes.
We dove into that profound concept of Akashic intelligence. We even touched upon like the illusion of Maya and how it can kind of cloud our perception.
Right.
It's been quite a journey.
It has. But remember, this is just like a glimpse into the richness of Sadhguru's teachings. There's always more to uncover, more to ponder, and more to experience.
Okay. I like that so much to think about already.
There is.
Welcome back to our deep dive, exploring Sadhguru's teachings on gratitude and Akashic intelligence. You know, one of the things that really stood out to me was Sadhguru's idea about how gratitude isn't just like an attitude.
Right.
It's like this natural outpouring.
Yeah.
It's not something we force, but something that like wells up from within.
It's a really refreshing perspective. Yeah. You know, because it challenges that common idea that we should just like be grateful.
Yeah.
You know, for what we have.
Right.
But Sadhguru is suggesting that true gratitude, it's not a forced emotion.
Oh.
It's like a spontaneous response to really recognizing the magnitude of what we receive.
And you know, I love how Sadhguru uses that analogy of the piece of bread.
Yeah.
To illustrate this.
Yeah.
When you're starving.
Yeah.
That bread represents so much more than just food.
Right.
It's like a lifeline.
Yeah, it's like survival.
Yeah.
And the gratitude that you feel in that moment, it's like it's raw and undeniable.
It is. And it makes me wonder, like, why don't we experience that kind of overwhelming gratitude more often?
That's a great question.
You know, I think it's partly because we've become so comfortable.
Yeah.
And accustomed to having our needs met.
Yeah. Just like used to it.
Yeah. We just take things for granted.
Right.
You know, Sadhguru points out that in our modern society, we've really become disconnected from the sources of our sustenance.
Yeah.
You know, we don't really witness the effort that goes into growing our food, crafting our clothes, heating our homes.
Yeah. And so we create this illusion of self-sufficiency.
Yeah.
As if we've earned everything through our own hard work.
Exactly.
But in reality, we're deeply dependent on this vast network of life. And interconnected systems.
Absolutely. And that lack of awareness.
Yeah.
You know, it can easily lead to that sense of entitlement. And we start to feel like we deserve everything we have.
Right.
Without recognizing the immense contributions of others.
Yeah.
And the natural world.
That's a good point. So how do we break free from that illusion?
And cultivate a more genuine sense of gratitude.
Right. How do we actually reconnect with that sense of awe and appreciation?
Yeah.
Well, Sadhguru offers a really simple practice that can have a profound impact.
Okay.
He suggests, consciously tracing back the origins of the things that we use and consume every day. For example, consider the shirt that you're wearing.
Right.
Where did the materials come from?
Yeah.
Who are the people involved in its creation?
I can already see how that would be a humbling exercise.
It is. It's like a mini meditation on interconnectedness.
Totally.
And as you start to really see that intricate web of connections, that feeling of gratitude, it naturally emerges. You realize that, you're not just this isolated individual.
Right.
You're part of something much larger, something truly awe-inspiring.
It reminds me of that feeling you get when you look up at a vast, starry night sky.
Yeah.
It just fills you with this sense of wonder and humility as you recognize like the immensity of the universe.
Absolutely. Gratitude has that power to shift our perspective from that limited egocentric view to a more expansive and interconnected one.
I like that.
Yeah, we begin to see the world as a gift.
Yeah.
Something to be cherished and appreciated, not just consumed and taken for granted.
So we've come full circle.
We have.
Back to Sadhguru's idea of gratitude.
Yeah.
As this natural outpouring.
Yeah.
Not a forced attitude.
Right.
It's a profound shift in perception.
It is.
That really has the potential to transform like every aspect of our lives.
I agree. And it all begins with awareness, by simply paying attention.
Right.
Recognizing that interconnectedness of life and the countless gifts that we receive each and every day. We open ourselves up to this whole world of gratitude and wonder.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into Sadhguru's teachings, I encourage you, our listener, to take a moment today.
Yeah.
To just feel that deep sense of gratitude.
Absolutely.
Appreciate not only like the things that you have, but like the very air you breathe.
Yes.
The ground you walk on.
The space around you.
Yeah. And that vast, intelligent space that holds it all together.
Exactly.
Until next time.
Yeah.
Keep exploring.
Keep questioning.
I'm questioning and keep diving deep.
See you next time.